Hello everyone, welcome back to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeved. Today we're covering the blue Pikkon deck coming out in Dawn of the Sea Legend, a character that we haven't seen in quite a few sets. That's definitely a bit of a fan favorite for some people, so let's jump into the deck. Starting off with the leader, we've got Pikkon. Auto, when this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue card with an energy cost of 1 among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Auto, if you have 2 or more energy, when one of your energy is added to your Z energy, you may flip this card over. If you do, draw 2 cards, then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left over. Or we have the standard awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards. On our awaken side, we've got auto, when this card attacks, draw 1, and then auto once per turn. If it's your turn, when one of your energy is switched to active mode by one of your blue card skills, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and return it to the owner's hand. And then an activate main once per turn, draw 1 card, and then place 1 card from your hand on top of your deck. So pretty standard being able to draw on attack, and good to be able to bounce cards back when we untap energy on our turn. We do have a couple of cards that can do this quite well. And then the activate main to stack the top of the deck how we see fit. Jumping into the deck, we've got Weskai Impending Clash. Pretty standard 1-drop searcher. We look at the top 5 cards for a West Galaxy Warrior or another World Budokai, 5 or less, or a blue unison specified of 2. Frieza Hellish Hellraiser, it's a 1-drop 4K. When this card is played, look at up to 5 cards top of the deck, add up to 1 Cell or another World Budokai, 5 or less as well. And then activate main limit 1. If your leader is a blue Pikkon card and you add 1 of your blue energy in active mode to the owner's hand, discard 1 card from your hand and then add this card from your drop to your energy. So a bit of a unique way to get this card into our energy, which will be relevant for some of the battle cards that we have, but a couple of different ways rather than charging it. And we can search out all these 3 cards, including Cell, Hellish Hellraiser, which does the same thing as the Frieza, off our leader's swing on the unawakened side, since we're searching for a 1-drop. To be able to find these cards as we need, we can play them to search the top 5 for the other, or we can just simply charge them. Super combo, we've got Grand Kai, grandest of all. It's a standard when your life is 4 or less. Using a combo, we get to draw 1. Then we've got SS Son Goku vs Pikkon Dead Heat. An iconic moment from Dragon Ball Z, I think. One that's a bit underrated. I think a lot of people kind of blow past that little sequence before Boo, but we definitely got a great fight between these two. It's a 4-drop 15k deflect dual attack. Auto, when this card attacks, choose up to 1 mono blue battle card with 5000 combo in the drop and use it in a combo with its skills negated for the turn, and then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. It's not once per turn, so both swings are going to be coming in for 20k, and we have the option to bottom deck 2 cards. Auto, at the end of your turn, draw 1, and then switch 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. A great effect the longer this card sticks around. And then activate main limit 1 for 2 blue energy. If you have 3 or more energy and discard 2 mono blue extras from your hand, play this card from your hand and it gains barrier for the turn. So a great way to kind of get some use out of this card. It's going to be very difficult to remove the turn that it's played, having deflect and barrier, but later on in the game it's going to be a bit more easier to get rid of. 5-drop Pikkon testing the opposition. It's a 20k with deflect, permanent. During your turn this card gains barrier. We've got to activate main for 2 blue energy. Place 1 Frieza card and 1 Cell card from your energy in the owner's drop. Play this card from your hand, then place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck in your energy in rest mode. So this is why it's relevant to have those Cells and Friezas in our energy. And then we've got an activate main for 1 blue energy. If your leader is a blue Pikkon card and you return this card to the owner's hand, play up to 1 blue Pikkon card with an energy cost of 8 from your hand. If you played a card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. So this card is doing quite a significant amount for very little energy, especially if we're able to establish this card and keep him around for the following turn. Even if we play this card for 3 energy later on in the game, well, 2 energy for the activate main and then using the second activate main later on, it's still pretty good to get a 20k swing as well as establishing an 8-drop Pikkon, which we have a couple. Starting off with this one, we've got Pikkon, another world champ, obviously 8-drop, 30k dual attack. Activate main, switch this card to rest mode, switch one of your blue energy to active mode, and you can't attack with battle cards for the turn. So if we swing in our opponent floodgates and things like that, perhaps we just want a different option to be able to survive the following turn, so we can restand the blue energy if we need. Activate battle once per turn, look at up to one card from the top of your deck, add up to one blue Pikkon card among them to your hand, and then place the remaining card at the bottom of your deck. If you added a card to your hand, choose up to one of your blue cards and it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. This effect works really well with our leader's awakened activate main, since we do get to restack the deck how we want, so we can put that Pikkon on top before we activate the activate battle. A promo that we saw not that long ago, but never really got any use. We've got Pikkon Controlling Forced. It's a 2-drop counter attack, negate the attack and play this card. When it gets played, we get to choose one of our opponent's battle cards and return it to the owner's hand. And then we've got an auto for 3 energy. If you have 5 or more mono blue energy and you place this card at the bottom of the owner's deck, at the start of your main phase, choose up to one blue Gogeta card, or with an energy cost of 8, or one blue Pikkon card with an original energy cost of 8 in your hand and play it. So another great way to kind of start the turn, pay the 3 energy, and then play an 8-drop Pikkon for quite cheap, for only 3 energy, which really isn't that bad. But we've got a couple of different ways to get those 8 drops out. 1-drop West Galaxy Revival. Again, a card that we haven't seen in a while. Came out in Vicious Rejuvenation, which I believe is set 13, if I'm not mistaken. Activate main. If your leader is a blue Pikkon card, draw 2 cards, choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the top of your deck. Then switch one of your mono blue energy to active mode, and you can't activate the activate main on copies of this card for the turn. So essentially it has a limit 1, but another great way to stack the deck for our 8-drop as well, but just being able to pretty much draw a free card for nothing, since we're going to get that mono blue energy back. And then we've got another activate main, but it does require a blue unison with rejuvenate, which we're not running, so we can ignore that skill. 17 and 18 teaming up unison, 2 cost 15k. We saw it come out last set in Ultimate Squad, and it is an exceptionally good blue unison. Auto once per turn. When a player attacks, add a marker to this card, choose up to one mono blue card with 5,000 combo power in your drop, and use it in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So this card's going to be adding markers quite easily, and also that first attack is going to either be an extra 5k offensively or defensively. Activate main for 2 blue energy. If your leader's blue, play this card from your energy with 2 markers on it. A little less relevant outside of Gamma, where we're not replacing the energy here. And then a -4 activate main. This card gets plus 10,000 power and dual attack for the turn. With how little cards interact with unisons at the moment, this card's exceptional, especially into yellow when they're going to be slamming down riposte and things like that. But alongside that, we have probably the best blue unison available, which is Margin Boo Assaults of the Agents of Destruction. Double strike blocker 20k, +0, draw 1, start of our opponent's main phase, switch this card to active mode. If our leader's blue, switch one of our mono blue energy to active mode. And a -1 auto when our opponent attacks with a battle card. We may choose one of their battle cards and bottom deck it. Just does so much and so difficult to remove. SS Trunks God Sealing, our free counterplay. So we discard this card from hand, and if the battle card being played doesn't have deflect, then we get to return it to our opponent's hand. And then if we have the blue unison 2 or more markers, we can activate it for free. We've got Thunder Flash. It's a 1 cost extra card, counter attack, negate the attack. And then we've also got an activate main for 1 blue energy. If your leader is a Pikkon card and you send this card from drop to warp, choose one of your blue Pikkon cards and it gains plus 5,000 power and double strike for the turn. Really good when we use this in combination with our leader, but also we've got a couple of other dual attack Pikkons in the deck as well, which like our 4-drop and our 8-drop. So our opponent's going to have to watch out once we activate this effect, since we don't even need it in hand as well, so we can just do it from the drop area and give those cards a boost. Intersecting Fates, a great extra card that came out in Draft Box 6, so hasn't really been used that much, but I think that it's quite underrated. But we do need that extra count high for our 4-drop Pikkon as well, so I decided to include this one. If your leader is blue, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue, up to 1 card among them to your hand, so we don't need to show our opponent either. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order, and then at the end of your turn, switch one of your mono blue energy to active mode, so we get that energy back. Dimension Magic, pretty standard blue extra card. Negate the attack, choose 2 of your blue energy, switch them to active mode, and we've got that sparking as well. If we have 5 or more cards in the drop area, we activate the counter by taking a life. And then Secret Rare for the deck, one that very rarely gets used. I've never seen this card in actual play, but I think that it does fit the deck quite well, since we can get 8-drop Pikkon cards out very easily. We've got Super Pikkon Might Manifested, 40k ultimate double strike dual attack. We've got an auto, not once per turn. When this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand. You choose 1 card from their hand with an energy cost of 7 or less, place it at the bottom of the owner's deck, then your opponent draws 1. So it does give us the option to look at our opponent's hand. We can see if we can close out the game from there, but we can also remove, if our opponent only has 1 more negate and things like that, we can remove those cards. We can remove a lot of different cards outside of secret rares and some battle cards, but we can be removing extra cards, unisons, things like that. Or maybe not unisons, but since they don't have the energy cost, but extra cards and battle cards, we can be removing those. And then activate battle for 4 energy. If your leader is blue and all your energy is blue and your opponent has 4 or more energy, play this card from your hand. If you do, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and return them to the owner's hand. So we can play this on our opponent's turn as well for 4 energy, which isn't impossible with the amount that we can untap for Boo and Dimension Magic and things like that. But probably want to be playing this off our Pikkon cards in the deck, just to kind of utilize those kind of cheaper energy ways. If we can play this for 1 energy, then that's exceptional. Moving into the Z deck, we've got Pikkon Depthless Skill. So it's 4 Z energy to play this card. Or we've got the Z Awaken for 1 blue energy over a blue Pikkon. Pay the skill cost and Z energy, so we do still need to pay the 4 Z energy and the 1 blue energy. Play this card from your Z deck on top of the specified leader's backside. It's a 15k double strike. When this card attacks, draw 2, place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck. And then auto, when this card's power is increased by one of your Pikkon card skills, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the top of the owner's deck. So we can do this with the 8-drop and things like that. Activate main once per turn. Return one of your blue Pikkon card with an energy cost of 8 to the owner's hand. Play up to 1 blue Pikkon with energy cost of 5 from your hand. So we can kind of restart the chain as well, just to kind of cycle through those cards and get some more attacks as well, since it's only 1 blue energy to bring out that 8-drop again. But just being a 15k double strike is always really good to put pressure on our opponent as well. And we can play this card as soon as we're on our awakened side. Some of the Z leaders do require to be at 2 or 3 life, which can be a bit more difficult to maneuver, but those cards are generally 20k as well. Cell Awakening of the Created. It's a 3 blue 25k, or 3 blue energy, 2 Z energy, 25k deflect critical. Auto, when this card is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less and place them under this card. Activate main once per turn. If 1 or more cards are under this card and you place all of them in the owner's drop area, switch this card to active mode. Additionally, if you use this card's skill to place 4 or more cards in the drop, this card gains triple strike for the turn. So a couple of critical swings, we can give this card triple strike. It's a big energy investment, but if we have the energy available, then this card can do a lot of good things by doing the board wipe and then putting a lot of pressure as well. 25k is a bit difficult to combo out of, since it requires more than just 1 super combo or 1 battle card, but a great card nonetheless. And then we've got SS Son Goku Awakened Onslaught, 1 blue energy, 3 Z energy. Place 1 of your Z energy in the owner's drop area. At the end of your turn, remove this card from the game. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less. Place it at the bottom of the deck. Activate main once per turn. If your leader's mono blue and you discard 1 extra card from your hand, draw 1 and this card gains critical for the turn. Another great blue Z battle card, but I expect that we will see some more battle cards come out in the anniversary box once we start seeing those reveals as well. But in future sets, I imagine that this Pikkon will continue to get some more support since this is his second time around in blue as well. But some great cards for this deck, some interesting kind of synergy with some old card as well. I think it'll be one to watch out for at locals, but not necessarily at tournaments, but I might be wrong. As always, if you enjoyed the deck idea, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.